Good day everyone, I'm Eunice Terresa Sieras, and today we are going to talk about Gestalt psychology. What is Gestalt psychology? Gestalt psychology was at the forefront of cognitive psychology. It served as the foundation of cognitive perspective to learning. It opposed the external and mechanistic focus of behaviorism, and it considered mental processes and products of perceptions. In simple terms, Gestalt psychology emphasized how people perceived and understand the world through organized patterns and wholes rather than just individual parts. It is like seeing the big picture rather than focusing on the details. Gestalt psychology opposed the idea of behaviorism theory, since in behaviorism it is about how we learn our behaviors, focusing on observable actions and environmental influences, while Gestalt psychology focuses on mental processes and perception. So Gestalt psychology is divided into three areas. First is the Gestalt principles. This branch focuses on the fundamental principles on how our brains perceive and organize visual information. It has five key laws: the law of proximity, law of closure, law of good continuation, law of good pregnance, law of figure ground, and lastly is law of similarity. The second is the insight learning, which suggests that learning occurs through sudden understanding rather than through gradual reinforcement. The third area is the life space, which refers to the psychological environment that influences an individual behavior. It includes both inner forces and the outer forces. Let us try to examine these photos. The first photo, we won't just perceive it through the individual letters, but we see it as a whole. We perceive it just as what the word mean, and we could also come up with a question: is there a possibility of you and me together? The next photo, where you can see good, do you sense any good or evil? And lastly is the photo that is confusing if it is 6 or 9. These are just some illustrations that challenge our perceptual skills. So these are the psychologists that studied the perception and concluded that perceivers or learners are not passive but rather active. They suggested that learners do not just collect information as is, but they actively process and restructure data in order to understand it. This is the perceptual process. According to the psychologists, there are different factors that impact the perceptual process: the past experiences, needs, attitudes, and present situation. So Gestalt theory was the initial cognitive response to behaviorism. It emphasized the importance of sensory wholes and dynamic nature of visual perception. The term Gestalt means form or configuration. So let us have an example scenario where we can apply the Gestalt psychology. So imagine you're walking through an art exhibition. You came across a painting of a bustling city street. It's a vibrant scene with people, cars, buildings, and street lights. You don't just see individual elements like a car, a person, or a building. You perceive the scene as a whole, a dynamic and interconnected environment. The energy of the street, the feeling of movement, and the overall mood of the scene emerge from the interaction of all these elements. In conclusion, Gestalt psychology offers a valuable framework for understanding how we perceive and organize the world around us. It emphasizes on the holistic nature of perception, it emphasizes on the present moment, and its focus on the individual subjective experience continue to inspire and inform various fields, demonstrating its enduring relevance in the study of the human mind. Thank you, and have a good day.